Surviving Argentina's Economic Collapse, Part 4. Looks like this is going to be a lot about weapons. The caliber choice calls for endless debate and it is not my intention here. Let's just say that 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, and 45 ACP are the obvious choices. 40 Smith & Wesson seem to be the most adequate both in FMJ and HP, while 9mm lacks some stopping power and hollow points should be used if possible. Though the 9mm lacks power compared to the 40 Smith & Wesson, it is more popular worldwide. A factor to consider seriously when choosing a hand GUN for SHTF. Besides, 9mm can also be used in a number of carbines and SMG, another important fact to be considered. This next section says SMGs and carbines. Chambered for 40 Smith & Wesson and 45 ACP are also available, but they are not nearly as popular as those chambered for 9mm. Whatever you choose, keep 500 or better yet 1,000 rounds of quality ammo for your hand GUN at all times. 100 rounds won't last much if the crisis lasts long. Also consider that once the balloon goes up, governments tend to restrict weapons and ammo. Rifles. I previously stated that the urban survivalist will be using his hand GUN 90% of the time he needs to defend himself and family from attackers. I didn't pull this figure out of thin air. It is quite accurate based on what happens here on a daily basis. Even a little optimistic. Cold, harsh reality has shown us that most attacks occur when entering or exiting your home, when you are more vulnerable. Almost no one is stupid enough to try to enter a barred house with armed occupants. Believe me, people, the gene pool will clean itself rather fast once the SHTF. So is a rifle necessary? Of course it is. There is still that 10%, and 10% can still ruin your day, and this percentage skyrockets if you intend to use that same rifle for putting meat on the table. If you have to settle with just one rifle, go for a semi-auto. Ideally, you should have a bolt-action 1 and a semi-auto rifle. A bolt-action and a semi-automatic 308 would make a nice combination. Whatever you choose, try to keep it within military calibers and military weapons if possible. It may seem that I have something against bolt rifles, but I don't. I think they are fantastic weapons. But I think that semi-autos are much better fighting weapons. The idea of picking them out 300 meters away with your bolt rifle as they come in a row blowing whistles and firing warning rounds is laughable at best. Bolt rifles do have advantages over semi-autos, accuracy not being the most important one. Bolt rifles, such as Mausers, last forever and are harder than rocks. That's important. They are simple, easy to repair tools that will serve you within their limitations, of course. Longer than any other weapon. For example, the coil spring on my Mauser 1891 safety broke into 3 separate parts after almost 100 years of faithful service. I dug into my toolbox and found a spring left over from a kitchen shelf door. I cut it approximately to the length of the previous spring, replaced it, and the rifle was fixed. There are not many weapons that allow this, and it is a very valuable attribute once the SHTF and spare parts are no longer available. Stick to common calibers 223, 7.62 by 39mm, 7.62 by 51, 308, 223 versus 308. I'm not going there. If you prefer 223 because it has less recoil, it's lighter, or you favor the AR rifle, go ahead. If you think that 223 is more powerful than 7.62, sign up to physics. I just remember what I said before. A survivalist is not a soldier serving in Iraq, and you don't have the entire USMF to back you up. You are on your own. You are not going to pin your attackers down with a questionably effective round and wait until someone hits them with artillery. About ARs. I wouldn't trust my life to a rifle that has more versions than Rocky sequels. The way I see it, it means that the basic design was the problem and there is no solution. On AK, all has been said. The most popular rifle on the planet, and popular not because of politics, but because it works. It also fires an intermediate power effective round available worldwide. SKS are also good, but I'd rather have removable magazines. Again, don't use voodoo on me because I say I wouldn't trust my life to an AR. If you keep your weapon clean, know its limitations, and feel comfortable with it, go for it, please. A couple of rounds of 223 will not. A couple of rounds of 223 will kill anyone just as well. If you want a rifle that can do a little bit of everything relatively well, do yourself a favor and get either a M1A or a FAL in 7.62 308 with a carbine length barrel, preferably with a red dot scope and some kind of light mount. Leave full length barrels to hunters and bench rest shooters. Do your homework on both GUNs and you'll see what I mean. Choose 308 not because of the added range you can get out of it, but because of its power at all ranges. Choose it because it turns cover into concealment. Think about all the possible cover material you can find in a city, like cars, trees, low walls, and other structures. The 308 will go right through it or destroy it after a few rounds. It's a proven cartridge throughout the years. Shot GUNs. Shot GUNs are good general purpose GUNs. The main advantage I see is the devastating stopping power and the ability to use special ammo like slugs and less than lethal ammo. I'm not sure about the role as an inside the house GUN. The muzzle blast is great and quick follow-up are not easy, especially when adrenaline is pumping through your system, or even worse when someone is shooting back at you. This next heading is pistol caliber carbines and SMG. If possible, I choose a SMG reduced to semi-auto, only if necessary, of course. Full auto selector is better if possible. Or any other kind of short, small pistol caliber carbine. The combination of a 9mm hand GUN and a 9mm carbine, or SMG reduced to semi-auto or full auto class 3, has lots of advantages in my book, and it is a fine combination. Some think that full auto is a waste of ammo. I don't think so. Not if you know how to use your head and use this feature wisely. If you can get a short barrel and collapsible stock, you'll also have a weapon that can be hidden under a heavy coat. A red dot scope would enhance accuracy a lot. The advantage of having the same ammo for long and small arm is not to be taken lightly. From the logistical survivalist point of view, this is one big thumbs up. Think about cowboys and Americans that lived in the West. They also knew the value of using the same ammo for rifle and hand GUN. They had single action hand GUNs and lever action hand GUNs chambered for the same ammo. The modern survivalist can have the same ammo for his auto pistol and his sub rifle as well. Some think that a pistol caliber long arm is just one big clumsy pistol or a rifle sized GUN that delivers pistol power and accuracy. This is BS. Anyone that ever fired a pistol caliber rifle or SMG knows that they are much more accurate. Hitting torsos at 100 yards is easy, and a little more if you have a red dot scope. Also, SMGs can manage hot ammo, specially made for such GUNs. Much more powerful than the one for hand GUNs. Even if you use regular hand GUN ammo, the added barrel length adds a few extra feet per second, making it more powerful. Just check the information on Armour. I think that's a spelling mistake. Body armor. Body armor that is rated to stop 9mm, for example, is not rated to stop the same 9mm ammo out of an SMG or carbine, because the added speed will make the same round penetrate the vest. Anyway, plus P ammo is more than enough power out of an SMG or carbine. You don't have to go looking for special SMG ammunition. If you can get full auto, that's one nice feature to have. Not worth it if you are on a tight budget, but if you can get it, it may come in handy someday. Full auto SMG are giving police in my country a lot of headaches. A criminal with little or no training will put 3 or 4 cops armed with pistols and shot GUNs on their toes just because of the sheer volume of fire these high capacity 9mm deliver. There was this case of a bad guy standing in front of a patrol car full of cops on a red light stop, pulling a 9mm SMG out of his coat and emptying it on full auto. The cops didn't have a chance. He killed them all. The car looked like Swiss cheese with 49mm holes all over the vehicle. The next subheading is sound suppressors. All I'm going to say on this subject is have one if you can. That's it. I'll leave the rest of it to your imagination. Don't make me say it. Today it may seem like a nice to have feature. After SHTF, it may be an oh god, I've got to get a suppressor feature. I'd buy a good suppressor instead of an ultra high dollar scope like the SOG. Buy a good quality scope, but don't spend a fortune on it and use the rest of the money on a suppressor. If you are serious about preparing for SHTF, you'll thank me one day. Just trust me on this one. 9mm and 45 suppresses quite well. Not as well as 22, but there's much more power on the big bore ammo. Combined with a full auto SMG, the possibilities are much greater. Sometimes it's just better to go unnoticed, especially in an SHTF crisis. Okay, the next section is body armor. Dear God, buy body armor, please. It's dirt cheap in USA. Preferably get the police concealable kind, class 2, then continue to work on it and get class 3A military armor and some rifle plates. Just as you do when you start buying GUNs, you'll end up with 2 or 3 sets of armor which are great to have for family members and spares. Just so you know, I got so desperate about body armor, I ordered it from USA through internet. I ended up paying a total of nearly 600 USD for body armor that cost 200 USD in USA. Buy it while you still can. When the SHTF, you'll end up wearing it. Believe me, I don't wear mine all day long, but I do wear it when I have to go to some place dangerous, deal with people I don't trust, or when I have to go teach architecture representation late at night and must travel through a much dangerous road at 12 p.m. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying it so far, make sure to like and subscribe and let me know in the comments. The next part is going to be crime and insecurity. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention. I'm turning this into a playlist. So if you go to my YouTube channel and click on playlists, you'll see all the Argentina collapse videos in one section. So you just click on it and it'll autoplay all of them from the beginning to the end.